everyone, this is Direwolf20, and welcome to episode 15 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series, where today I got a couple things planned. First off, I want to get a Botania sash. It's about time. So the sojourner sash from Botania will allow us to run faster and jump higher. It's going to make my exploration of the world a little bit easier. And the reason I want to do this specifically is because we have some things to do in Astral that require a little bit of exploration, and I'd like to be able to get around the world a little bit faster. That's all there is to it. So let's get started really quickly, taking a look at how to do some basic mana manipulation in Botania. So here we go. The first thing we need to do in Botania is get a way to generate mana, spread the mana around, and store it somewhere. So mana in Botania is made in a lot of different ways, and if you flip through the Botania book, you'll find that there is a whole section on generating flora that talk about a bunch of the different flowers you can make that generate mana. And generally speaking, you'll unlock them as you progress through the mod a little bit, but there's a handful of ways that you can make it. The earliest and easiest approach, it ain't nighttime yet, so I'll just hold off on sleeping, is to make the endo flame. This is a very simple flower. It just eats coal and makes mana. It's a furnace. It's the furnace of flowers. So it's 2 brown, a gray, and a red is all there is to it. And then we're also going to want a bucket of water handy so we can make a handful of these. So 2 brown, a gray, and a red, and then drop your seed in, right? And then that, right-click with an empty hand, and boom. Right-click with an empty hand, and then boom. I'm going to swap these guys. So we'll do this, right? So it'll be you, you, you. And this is how you can quickly craft many a flower. Now, as long as no creepers show up and jump on my head, I'll be fine. So I like to make a good handful of endo flames, just because it really kickstarts your production. So each flower will absorb a piece of coal and generate a small-ish amount of mana. Not particularly small, but enough to kind of get you going. There's much better ways to make things in the future. Did I use up all my browns? I may have. All right, well, 18's enough, I guess. And I can always, you know, do the floral fertilizer thing to get more. It's not a big deal if you run out of a particular flower type, because floral fertilizer makes life a lot easier. So with all that stuff said, we've now got the endo flame. The other thing we're going to want to do from Botania is make a mana pool, which will hold mana. And that's just made with some living rock, so that's easy. And then we're going to want a mana spreader that will transfer mana from, ooh, hello, new chapters unlocked, from one location to another. So I'm just going to snag any color flower and a piece of gold, and that will make the mana spreading capable, right? So mana spreader ready to roll, and we got that going now for us. Beautiful. I haven't quite, as usual, decided where I want to put things, so like I guess we could just stick it right over here for now. I really do want to do something where I have some kind of like area for each of my mods to work in. And what I think I'm going to do at some point, I don't know, if you guys want to submit things to me, be my guest by way of like copy paste gadget settings and whatnot. If you guys want to submit ideas for houses and whatnot for me to live in. So like if you want to do like a Botania one, and then like, I don't know, like an Astral one, that kind of thing, that would be cool. But also if you don't, that's also fine. And what I'll have to do is figure out like how I want to actually go about doing this stuff. Because I want to definitely do something. I want to not just have like my one 9x9 structure here. I want to do, you know, more than that. But anyway, let's get into the mana spreader, right? So it's pretty easy to set up. You place down your mana pool, wherever you want. The mana spreader should face the mana pool. Now, did we make a wand? I forget. Did we make a wand? Did we make a Botania wand yet? I don't think we did. I don't think we did. So let's go ahead and make one. I'll use the red flowers. You can use any flower petal you want, but Botania has a wand. You're going to need these guys. I think you need 3 of them for the wand. And I think you do something like this and that. And there's your Wand of the Forest. So this is the tool for Botania. you can use it to see a bunch of information. So notice how this blue particle effect is occurring. That's telling you where the mana is going to be sent. So basically what happens, the mana spreader can pick up mana from the flowers. The flowers generate the mana, they put them into the mana spreader, and the mana spreader shoots the mana somewhere. In this instance, it's going to shoot it into the mana pool. And if you want to adjust where it goes, you can shift right click and you'll see it highlights the mana spreader. And then you can shift right click and it'll focus to make sure that it's going directly into the pool. Now, when we place down a flower, it's going to automatically find its nearby mana spreader. So if there's a mana spreader nearby when you place the flower, it'll automatically bind to it. If you place down the flower before the mana spreader, it won't do that. So simply shift right click on the flower and then on the mana spreader and it'll bind to it. Cool. And if you want to make sure that your flowers are bound, as you can see, you can just look at it. So see, this guy is not bound. See the X? So these guys all are, right? These guys are not. He's probably out of range. So he can only bind to a nearby mana spreader. These guys are too far away. So we'll just put them a little closer, and that should be cool. Nice. So now they're all bound, and we can see that is behaving. So now let's go get some coal. What I really need is a way to teleport through walls. That's always been one of my favorite things that you can do in modded Minecraft. There's like Staff of the Traveling from Ender.io from back in the day, which is not updated yet, which is why it's not in the pack. There's been a handful of things that allow you to do that. So if we just drop some coal. Ta-da! So you notice that we used up 18 pieces of coal, because that's how many flowers we had there. So they all ate the coal, and now they are feeding their mana into the mana spreader. There's so many flowers here that they're actually having trouble. The mana spreader is not able to transfer mana fast enough, which is kind of a good problem to have, honestly. Not too shabby. So now we're producing mana, and we're storing it in the pool. Awesome. Awesome. So the next stage in order to get our sojourner sash is to make a mana steel ingot and a couple of runes. Now, mana steel ingots are actually pretty easy to make, and I'll show you how to make them in a moment here. So we're also going to want, let's see, some iron and some redstone, and that should probably be good enough. So mana can be used to craft things. Are you guys done already? Really? Wow, that was quick. Everybody make more. And there's some cool ways to automate this, by the way, which we'll probably look into. So to make mana steel, you just drop an iron ingot into a pool, and you'll notice that when you're holding it here, it shows you this is a valid craft. If you put something else there, it's not going to tell you if it's good. The check mark means you have enough mana. If you didn't have enough mana, it would be an X. Ta-da! Mana steel. Now, what we want to do to make the runes, though, requires a runic altar, which is a little bit more effort. So what I'm going to do is drop an ender pearl in here, and that'll get me a mana pearl. And that will allow me to craft the runic altar, which will be part 2 of this craft. So before I do that, though, I want to get one more petal, because we're going to need another mana spreader. Actually, I had my reds on me, but whatever. Because we're going to need another mana spreader for this. And I know a lot of you guys have probably seen this before, but that's okay. Remember, this is for people who haven't played this mod before or don't know much about modded Minecraft. Hooray! New chapters have unlocked. So the runic altar is how you make runes. So in order to make runes with the runic altar, you need mana. And you need to get the mana out of the pool. In order to do that, you place a mana spreader with its back to the pool. Okay? And what will happen is the mana spreader can now absorb mana from the pool. So see how it's got a full buffer? Okay? So full buffer. Kind of also a full buffer? Not a full buffer. When you right-click these things, it'll update. That's like an intentional thing. So right-click, it updates. Cool. Pretty spiffy. And that's how you can do some runic crafting. So in order to make our sojourner sash, which is exactly what we want to make, I'm going to make some more mana over here. Go ahead, guys, have fun. We need 2 runes for the sojourner sash. A rune of earth, which requires mana powder, mana steel. So we're going to make those. Mana powder, by the way, is redstone. Cool. So now we've got some mana powder, mana steel. Okay. We need that for all of your runes, by the way. So rune of earth needs a mushroom, a block of coal, and any stone. And air needs string, feather, and carpet. So string, feather, carpet, stone, coal, and mushroom. So string, feather, carpet. We have string? We should have string. If not, I can make it. I probably turned all my string into whatever. Feathers. I thought we had feathers too. Do we really have no feathers? Did I use them all? Rip. Killing me, Direwolf. What are you doing? Alright, so apparently I need to go kill a few chickens. I mean, feathers, no problem, but... Oh, brutal. Oh well, some string. We also needed the carpet. So string, feather, carpet, and then a block of coal. Right? And I'm going to get another stack here for feeding the mana. Smooth stone, which I think we may or may not have on us, and a mushroom. So let's do the crafting first. I wonder if we'll use the red mushroom here. So to make this is pretty straightforward. We're also going to want some living rock on us, and we're going to need the wand of the forest. So to get started with crafting, right, we're going to make the earth one first. All you got to do is drop your items onto the altar, and you'll see that they'll sit there floating around all lovely like. Cool. I'm going to drop the mushroom and the stone as well onto the top of the altar, by the way. And finally, the coal block. And as soon as we do that, crafting begins. You can see the progress of the craft on the right-hand side of the arrow there. So you can see that green circle overlaying the rune. That's telling you how much of the craft is complete. And it's using mana from the mana pool to do that craft. Once it's received enough mana, you have to drop a living rock on the altar and right-click with the wand of the forest. And then, boom, we have runes of earth. Nice. Not too shabby. Let's make some more coal. And I'm going to go find a chicken. Oh, boy. Raiding party again. Boy, those guys are aggressive, aren't they? They're like, hey, Direwolf, village and pillage update. Do the thing. And I'm like, I don't want a villager. Anyway, I see chickens on the map. I'd really love to get a looting book. I know one of my things that I picked up has like looting 3 in it. I should look into getting, or looting 2 on it, I mean. I should look into getting looting 3 if I can. What I should do is find some kind of item that only accepts looting, and then enchant it, and then disenchant it. That would be cool. Hello, chickens! Or I could just make a chicken farm. Feather, check. Egg and chicken things go away. Seed things go away. So now we're going to make the next rune, which is going to be you, 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 and you. Hooray! So again, mana comes in from the pool. Let's give you guys a little bit more. And yes, there's definitely a way to automate this, by the way. The mana bit, there's lots of things we can do to automate it. We'll look into it. But for now, I've got the 2 runes that I need, which excites me, and I'm very pleased. Let's grab, let's see, what do I have more of? Diamonds or ender pearls? I'm going to do diamond. You can make this item with either. But we're going to make a mana diamond real quick. Ta-da! Mana diamond. And we're going to use that to make a mana tablet. And a mana tablet is like a battery for mana that the player can carry around, and it'll fuel some of the things that we're going to make here. So I'm going to get my 4 leather that I need, craft up a quick sojourner sash, which is cool. And then the mana tablet needs to receive mana. To do so, come over here. You'll notice that right now the mana pool has a little bit of mana in it, and it's saying tablet goes into pool. That means in its current implementation, the way it's currently configured, it'll drain mana out of the tablet and put it into the pool. That's not what we want. So shift right click this, and it'll go from pool to tablet. Now when I drop my mana tablet on top, all the mana that's sitting in the pool will get absorbed. And then obviously my player picks it up again, which is not a big deal because it was done. But now we have a little bit of mana in the mana tablet. Did we have... We do. We have some Black Lotus that we found. This is a item that's found in the world. It basically makes mana. You have to drop it into a pool though. And it'll, you know, convert into a little bit of mana, which is a good time. Where's my coal? Oh, there it is. It's on my hotbar. Did not expect that. Cool. So notice very little mana in pool. And it doesn't make a ton. There's another one that makes even more. It's kind of a meh item in my opinion. It doesn't make a lot, but it gets the job done. So now you can do that, and he'll just absorb the mana, and we've got a little bit of mana in our tablet. You'll also notice on our experience bar, right down here, this indicates how much mana is in the tablet. So it's a little overlay on your experience bar to say, yeah, you've got just a tiny bit. Now what I can do is open up my curios slot, and we can put the sojourner's sash somewhere in our curios. I think there's a belt slot, and that's where we go. Hooray! I made an achievement, the Inner Arts. Nice. So you need to have a little bit of mana on your player in order for this to work. But now we should be able to run faster and jump higher. Look at that. Ain't that cool? And I think that gives us uphill step assist too, which is also another personal favorite of mine. So not a lot of work, and you get faster run speed, higher jumps, uphill step assist. Totally worth it. So that's kind of why I wanted to make sure to do this today, because yeah, that's what's up. All right. Let's eat, sleep through the night, and progress through Astral. And clean up my inventory, of course. Alright guys, we're back. So, now we're going to get into playing with a little bit more astral-y things. So what I'm going to do is grab some aquamarines, and I don't know which of these crystals I should use, because I don't know, like, you know, what attributes I care or don't care about. Some of them have a lot of nice attributes, and then there's just so many different ones I don't know what to be interested in. I'm going to grab one of these that's size 2. I'm just guessing. I'm going to grab 2 of them that are size 2. And I'm not going to sweat it if I grabbed a bad one. That's basically what I'm going to decide. So let's check out Astral. One of the things we want to make first is a light well. Actually, we need 2 of them. So we're going to need some runed marbles and some chiseled marbles. Now, chiseled marbles are not hard to get. It goes like that. And then runed marbles just need some regular marble, which I thought we had now. But he was just being silly. I know we need a decent amount of that, so I'm going to make some for the future, right? Now, to make this actually craft, what we're going to need to do is pop over to our luminous crafting table and make the light well in here. So to do this, we place the crafting just like we normally would, and then hit this guy with a resonating wand. Ooh. The sound effects have gotten fancier. That's what I just learned. That is definitely something I just learned. Nice. That is cool beans right there. All right, back to the home base. Hooray. Now we've got some light wells. Now they need to see the sky in order to operate. And the way they work is you simply just place them in the world, and you place something in the light well. Generally speaking, you should use aquamarines, but you can also place crystals, and a handful of other things in order for this to work. I wonder if JEI shows you. It does. Look at that. Cool. So you can actually get lava out of this if you use netherrack and magma blocks, or you can get liquid starlight using, you can see a bunch of things here, right? You can also get water, apparently, from ice and snow. Cool. But aquamarines are the easiest thing to use. So simply right-click the aquamarines on the light wells, and they'll start generating liquid starlight. How cool is that? Now, if I had a tick accelerator at this point, I would say let's make this go a little bit faster, but I don't, so we gotta be patient. So that's one of the things that we just made right here. Let's see. So in the book, this is one of the things we want. Now, rock crystal properties, there's a chapter on this I want to flip through. Due to the special circumstances that create them, each newly mined rock crystal is different. These variances in size, purity of the crystal, and even shape of the facets can result in considerable differences in suitability for a purpose. There is no method to determine what these attributes will be for any given crystal before freed from its rocky prison, and while the Academy recognizes that modifications to these crystals are an incredibly important part of their use, it is not nearly as simple as shaping a normal gemstone's appearance. Smashing a rock crystal's facets into something as crude as a grindstone would simply destroy them. Other, more refined methods are needed for modifying a crystal. Interesting. So it sounds like we're going to be able to modify them a little bit in the future. So crystal modification. Submerging a rock crystal into a pool of liquid starlight, that stuff we're making right now, until absorbed, can be used to repair or grow the crystal into a more robust version of itself, as the internal matrix is realigned and reinforced by the magical energies of concentrated starlight. When this occurs, the size of the crystal will increase. There are still limits to what any crystal can have an attribute improved to, or its number of attributes, and removal of an attribute is not possible without the intentional use of a specialized tool. Submerging 2 crystals in liquid starlight will cause the crystals with fewer attributes to merge into the crystal with more, with the larger crystal potentially gaining 1 or more of the attributes of the absorbed crystal. The more attributes the crystal already has, the less likely this is to occur. So that's cool. So it sounds like we'll be able to take, for example, this has size, shape, and tool efficiency. We could maybe merge that with this guy, and that would get purity, maybe. Like, so we could take these two and merge them, and we would get a crystal that potentially has purity on it. So that's interesting to know. That's cool. There's the crystal properties thing has definitely changed a lot. And that I don't super know what's up. So you can see liquid starlight has accumulated pretty good. I'm pretty sure it still accumulates more at night. And as a note, these crystals here will eventually break. So be aware of that. It means that, you know, you have to just place another one occasionally. It's not super common that they'll break, but it does happen. So now that we've read up on that a little bit, let's look at the, so there's infused wood, which is pretty easy to make. I think you just drop it into a pool of liquid starlight, which you can totally place in the world. But what I want to make is a phasic energy detector. So we're going to need an aquamarine, marble, and some of that infused wood. So, yeah, is that cool? Where is that phasic resonator dude? Oh. Yes, you. Cool. And a piece of gold, a little bit of marble. So to make infused wood, we're going to want to take a bucket of liquid starlight. And I think you just do that. And it works. Hooray! Beautiful. So that's infused wood. We should now be able to make a phasic resonator at our luminous crafting table. Boy, I love how fast I teleport. Boom! Nice. So this guy is pretty important. If you want to read through the book, it tells you the gist of what happens. But the deal is that starlight tends to concentrate in random areas in the world, which make them more suitable for crafting with. In other words, that table with the meter on the bottom that we saw, this guy, the meter will be higher during a certain point of day in these specific areas. So your goal, if you choose to accept to do so, is to find it. So all you need to do is hold the phasic resonator at night, and what you'll hopefully see is some blue. I think that's it, right there. There we go. Nice. There's one near my base. That's awesome. We lucked out. If this is true, then we lucked out. This is what we're looking for. Right here. Right here is what we're looking for. This, right? So note that when I stop holding it, it goes away. When I am holding it, it's back. This is a concentrated area of starlight energy. In other words, it's a really good place to set up starlight crafting. So we're going to move our thing over to here, okay? Let's see how quickly we can move this guy, because it is becoming daytime. So this guy's energy is kind of low. Just going to pick him up, pop back to home base. It's becoming daytime, so this is not ideal. I'm looking for a way to automatically convert daytime to nighttime. So basically we want to kind of plop this dude in the center of this area. I'm going to do this real quick. See, this is already higher than it was before, and it's basically daytime. So this is going to have a much higher amount of starlight, which means we can craft more expensive things, because you need a certain amount of starlight energy in the altar to do any amount of crafting. Different crafts require more starlight, so finding an area like this is pretty nice early on. Now later on in the mod, assuming it's similar to 1.12, we'll have more ways to generate and infuse starlight into the altar, but early on, using this guy to find it is good. Now I'm pretty sure this is only going to be visible at night, so as daytime arrives, you'll see it's harder and harder to notice this field of energy. And I think once it's properly fully daytime, it'll be almost impossible, if not completely invisible. So yeah, see how the field of energy is dissipating? It's hard to see during the day. So definitely go exploring at night with this guy. Now, does he have a right-click functionality? I think he used to, or he will in the future. I think there's some upgrades we can apply to him, because you notice there's a couple other things that this one can do in this tool. So I think there's some upgrades we can apply. But long story short, we found a nice location for this. So what I'm going to do is call this the center spot. I'm going to go get my building gadget. I'm going to flatten the terrain there, and that would be cool. Let's do that. Let's get a little bit of a terrain flattener dude. What I'd also like to do is grab a seed. That sounds like a good time. And I'd like to grab some living wood. I think it's a seed. Is it a seed that I want? Or, you know what, it may not be a seed. Do I have the thing? I know what I want. I don't want seed, I want tall grass. Give me my shears. This will make my life just a little bit easier. Another reason to get into Botania. Hooray! We found pasture seeds, which are nice, by the way. You can use them to turn dirt into grass, but that's not what I want. I want to use them instead to make this guy, a Horn of the Wild. Personally, one of my favorite items from any mod. Super useful. You know what the Horn of the Wild does? I'll tell you what the Horn of the Wild does. The Horn of the Wild gets rid of all tall grass in an area around the place. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. It's just literally the best. Gets rid of tall grass, gets rid of flowers. Very, very useful little gadget. Because I personally hate running around and clearing out the tall grass. Speaking of this thing that I'm looking at right now, by the way. Oh my goodness, inventory issues. What else is new? Put away all this junk. And I should probably put away all this junk as well, because we don't exactly need it on our player at just this exact moment. Not at this exact moment, per se. I really need to something clean up my inventory. You're kind of my astral chest for the moment, though probably not for long, because I'm about to set up a new astral area. But I'm going to do my best to keep my inventory as clean as possible, because boy oh boy is that going to be a problem sooner than later. What I would like to do, real quick, is mention that between episodes I found a couple more constellation. Vicchio and Armara are constellations that I found in one of these guys. I was running around, I forget where, but I found them and I looted it. But I want you guys to know that previous versions of this mod only had one chest per temple. New versions have more. This one had 3. That's awesome. The last one I found had 2. So that's pretty cool. Nice. Not too shabby. So here's the deal with constellation paper, by the way. You will always discover a new constellation when you pick up constellation paper. So you will never find... Notice that when you pick it up is when you discover it. So if you already have Dissidia, you will not find another Dissidia. Which is great, by the way, because it's really annoying to find 5 Dissidias and no Evorcios, for example. That said, there's other minor constellations which you won't be able to discover until later on in the mod. So hang on to your blank constellation paper, because you will probably need it in the future. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and stick the Evorcio in there. So we've got now 5 constellations. So this is similar to previous versions of Astral. There are 5 major constellations. These are the big ones. These are the most powerful ones. But there's a bunch of minor constellations, and there's also a bunch of dim constellations, which we'll find later on in the mod. Cool. So now that we've got this dude, let's get our building gadget, and let's get some dirt, if I can. Hope you don't mind. I'm going to flatten out a little bit of terrain. We'll see what happens. So let's get this area all set up. So I put that cobblestone down so that I would know where that thing is. Now, to be fair, you also want this to be up high. I generally don't like having to do the whole build it really tall thing. It's annoying to me to have to go up really high into the Y level, but I might do it. We'll see. Maybe I'll set up an elevator to travel up and down. I'm not sure. But for now, I'm going to build it at the ground level, and if it turns out that we don't have enough starlight power to do progression in the mod, then I'll move it up. Does that sound like a fair plan? Hope so, because that's basically what we're doing. So let's get you. I'm going to make you right around this Y level, because that's, you know, probably high-ish enough. Yeah, right here sounds good. So let's put you on horizontal wall mode. Should build all the way around this guy. And I'm going to make it not place on top. So instead of, if you do place on top, it'll build the wall on top of the block you're looking at. If you don't, it'll build it around the block you're looking at. So I simply do that, and boom, we have a nice flat area within which to build. Now that looks a little bit silly with this giant overhang, but I'm not sure how much I care. I'm just saying, you know, it's not that bad. Not that bad. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not 100% convinced on what I'm going to do with that. And that's Horn of the Wild. See how great that is? It's literally the best. Me personally, like, I played Minecraft before this tall grass stuff even existed. So it was kind of like an annoyance when it got added to the game. I get it, it looks cool-ish, but it also looks messy-ish. So to me, I like it gone. And maybe that's just a throwback to the fact that it didn't exist when I first played, or maybe it's just I'm weird like that. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Horn of the Wild, I love you. All right, so now we've got that altar ready to roll. Let's wait for nighttime, and then we'll be back. All right, guys, we're back. So before we wrap up here, there's one thing I definitely want to do, and that is upgrade the altar to the next tier, which will unlock the next chapter of Astral Sorcery. So under Exploration, we can see that there's a whole section on Starlight Crafting Altar. There's also a thing about Astral Relays that I'll mention is a neat way to help increase the amount of Starlight power. You can build this little tiny multi-block structure. It's just a 3x3 with this Astral Relay item, and glass lenses are not bad. You use that to increase the starlight power on an altar. So you place that nearby, and it'll infuse the altar with even more starlight power, which is cool. So let's get this thing built. So you can see there's a multi-block that goes along with this. And I'm going to build it now. So let's go back to the Starlight Crafting Altar. This is how you upgrade the Starlight Crafting thingy. So right now we have a luminous crafting table that can be upgraded into a Starlight crafting table by placing these items into the table and initiating the craft. We could do that now, but we're going to hold off a minute because it also needs a multi-block structure around it. So the previous version of the table did not need that, but this one does. So we're going to clear out an area. Let's see. Starting in the middle, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So starting in the middle here, where did I have this dude's? I moved it already. It doesn't really super matter. I know it was like generally speaking in the middle here. Did I put that thing away? I kind of did. I like how I'm just like teleporting home even though it's 6 blocks. But still, it's faster. Hey, we're past the wrapping up point. So Dara's trying to quickly get through this so we can get to the next episode. So let's see, over here-ish, we can kind of start to see it. So yeah, like right here seems like a good spot, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Nice. Just want to be standing in just the right spot. There we go. Tallgrass has already started building, which is nice to see. All right, so the structure, as we can see here, and I think what we're going to want is we're going to want about 7 of these guys, which are marble arches. And by the way, quick tip, you can mouse over this star up here. It'll show you exactly what items you need. I prepared all these already in advance to get this ready to go. So I think we're going to want to start here, and we're going to go like that. Seems cool. And I'll put dirt in the corners for now. Cool. So that'll go, actually you stay there. Where's those marble arches? Pretty sure I got everything I need. Nice. Sweet. And then we're going to want, in the corner pieces here are going to be these guys, which are chiseled marble. So they're going to go in each corner. And then there's going to be bricks like this. And then coming out of the bricks, right in the center of each one is going to be something like this. Cool. And then sooty marble in the remaining places. Cool. Right in the center is going to be this dude. And then you need 1, 2 pillars and then another chiseled. So each spot here will get a pillar. Like that. And then a chiseled on top. And that is the multi-block structure for the second tier of this dude. So now we can go ahead and place this in with a bucket of starlight, which I should go get from here. And you can see we have a lot of starlight energy, by the way. If you look briefly at that little table spot, the starlight energy is almost full, which tells me that we found a really nice spot. Cool. And these guys, the crystals shattered, as I promised they would. Just go ahead and throw another aquamarine in there. This, by the way, you can hook up pipes to in a tank. And you can store that in any fluid tank. Pro tip. We'll probably look at doing that in a short bit. But now that I've got this dude, and I can't run no more because I did too much running without eating, we should be ready to upgrade our altar now. So look at that. Almost a full bar on this table. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. So let's upgrade this dude by just whacking him with the wand. Boom. How cool is that, huh? He upgraded. Nice. So now we have a new version of the table. Quite a lot of starlight energy in there. Look how high that meter is still. Beautiful. Beautiful. Tons and tons of starlight power. And our vision has expanded once again. Upgrade complete. When we've learned about attunement. A whole new chapter with a whole lot of stuff in it. Holy cow. That is a lot of things that we're going to be playing with very, very shortly. However, for now, it is unfortunately wrapping up point. So basically, as you can see, every time you get a new tier of altar is generally when you get a new tier of expansion, so you can explore more of the book, right? So we learned a whole new bunch of stuff here that we'll be playing with in the next few episodes. But for now, Darwell20 is signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will come back next time and figure out what is up for Astral Sorcery in this next chapter, because I suspect it's going to be pretty cool. All right, guys, take it easy.